All right, so today we're working on a little DIY driveway repair, and that's for two reasons. One is this big old broken section right here. So it's not falling apart too much. I could leave it, but every time I drive over it, my car goes bump up, and I'm like, man, I should fix that. And so for 3 years, I've been going bump bump, and today we're finally fixing it. And then two, we have this drainage issue right here. So this is a low spot in the driveway. The ground goes up right here. The water has nowhere to go. So anytime the sprinklers go off or it rains, you get like a puddle here. The puddle can be way bigger. And one, my wife likes to drive through it at speed and make the clean car that I just cleaned dirty real quick. And then two, bugs. So mud daubers will come over here and get mud for their nests. Mosquitoes like to congregate here too. So we need to get rid of this wet area. So unfortunately, that means we're gonna be cutting up a perfectly good driveway to put in drainage to down over there. But again, needs to be done. It's been bugging me for years, and today we're taking care of both of those. So to get started here, we have a chalk line. We went ahead and marked our cut right here, where we're gonna cut, over there too. And we're gonna be using Home Depot's finest rental concrete saw to cut this up. It's basically just a big chainsaw with a masonry blade instead of a bar and chain. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and score our cut line with the angle grinder. This is another masonry blade on here. And the reason we're doing that is this uses water to keep all the dust down, right? And so as soon as you hit that chalk line with water, chalk's gonna disappear. So we want a straight line, so we're gonna go ahead and score our line first, and then we'll break out the concrete saw, cut this thing up. We'll cut on our lines, and then we're also gonna cut this way so we can get it into manageable chunks to get up and out of there. You see what I'm saying about the drainage? Sucks. You know when you randomly find out that one of your friends from high school lives down the street and owns his own personal mini excavator that you can borrow to dig out a trench? Today just happens to be one of those days. I've been cutting and picking up for hours. I'm now tired. I don't want to dig a trench by hand, so we're gonna go borrow a machine. Yeah, so she was just noticing that the bucket's too big to fit in the hole that I cut here. So
me?
What? You cut that hole?
No, I noticed that the bucket was too big first.
Oh, sorry. They both noticed that the bucket's too big to fit in the trench. So yeah, we're gonna dig this part by hand, but then we have to go into the yard a bit, so we're gonna use the excavator for that. And the way this is gonna work, we have it's a landscaping box, I think it's called. It's got an outlet for pipe there. We've got some drainage pipes. We'll put the box on this side where the water drains to, pipe down that way, and then on the other side, we're gonna have an elbow to a pop-up emitter, and then whenever the water comes and puts a little bit of pressure on there, it'll pop up and let the water flow into the yard that way and won't get stuck in a big puddle right here. So now we just gotta dig. Hey, get back to digging. So it turns out underneath our concrete driveway was a rock driveway. That wasn't fun to dig through, but we got our pipe in here now. We got a little bit of an angle on it, so the water's gonna flow down that way. Now we're gonna get into the small heavy machinery, dig a trench down until we get to a point where the yard and our pop-up is lower than the box over here, so our water will flow down and out into this yard. Hey, are you gonna work this thing? You're certified, right?
Yeah.
All right, let her rip. All right, drainage is in. So yeah, we only used the excavator for the last 10 feet, but it was a very quick 10 feet. So the emitter head is going to be about 3 inches lower than the top of the box over there. So water should flow up through this when the box starts to get full. And then I drilled holes in the bottom of this pipe. That way, if there is, well, there will be water left over in the pipe whenever the drainage is done, whenever the emitter's done, and then it can slowly leach out the bottom into the yard, and it won't just kind of sit in there forever. So we're gonna get this filled back in, and then we're gonna get to the rebar. So we've got rebar, we've got chairs for the rebar, so it will sit up off the dirt somewhere. I have rebar ties. We'll be making a grid and then drilling into the concrete to put the rebar in there. We also have anchoring epoxy for the rebar, so we'll drill a hole in the concrete, put some epoxy in, stick the rebar in, and then tie it all together. We'll be doing a grid for our rebar every 18 inches. That's just generally how far apart you do it for a driveway. So yeah, we're gonna fill in some dirt, cut some rebar, and then we should be ready to pour concrete in just a second here. All right, so our driveway is now all framed out. We've got rebar in there. It is ready to pour. For the framing material on the side here, a little trick I picked up from the contractors who built the garage, actually. We got a little bit of a curve, right? So if you put a 2x4 down there, it's not gonna curve, it'll be completely straight, and that would be like way too unsightly for a driveway as fine as this. So this is expansion joint material, same stuff you'd use like right here in between your foundation of your house and your driveway, right? But it's kind of flexible, so you can curve it to the curves that you need. You can also screw into it like you would screw into it like you would, yeah. And so that's what we're using. It's also relatively cheap, doesn't break the bank, and it's the right depth for doing a driveway. We got that going. The rebar is 3/8 rebar. You have to drill a 1/2 inch hole for a 3/8 rebar. Don't know why that is, but that's the only way it wants to fit in. And for that, we're using this drill right here. So I picked this up years ago. This is the DeWalt DCH 133. I don't remember it being too expensive, so at the time I was like, oh, is this just like a crappy tool? But this thing is a freaking beast. Like, we used it on our outdoor kitchen, we used it on that carport right there, we used it to put in the car lift. This thing will drill a 1-inch hole into concrete and it'll just keep going. It does go through a fair amount of batteries. I think you use 5 batteries to do, I don't know, like 25 holes here. But it's a good buy. And speaking of another good buy, so the concrete we're gonna be using today specifically is Sakrete Maximizer. And so I used to be a Quikrete guy, you know, like the yellow bags you see everywhere. And then contractors doing some work for us, they're using these blue bags. I was like, what's the deal? Like, why are the contractors using these blue bags? So your regular Quikrete bag, 80-pound bag, at 4 inches thick, it'll give you 2 square feet. This stuff gives you 2 3/4 square feet. So there's more in the bag, but the bag still weighs the same amount. So if you remember physics class, work equals force times distance. Whenever you pick up one of these bags and you carry it over there, you're literally doing less work using the blue bags than you are the Quikrete bags. Oh, and it's also stronger. So Quikrete is 4,000 PSI, this is 5,500. So we're going to have a stronger driveway, just in 2 spots though. The rest of it's gonna be crap. So we got concrete mixer here. This is probably not necessary for this small of a project, but I was renting the concrete saw anyway, so I was like, why not? And it turns out all my help just went to the grocery store, so it's just me and y'all. So y'all grab a bag and let's get some mixing. Ready? And then just push it down. Okay, and then pull back up. Okay. Nice.
How?
Yeah, right there. Push it really hard. Ready? Okay, pull it up. Good job. And there you have a repaired driveway. So yeah, we just mixed up the concrete in the mixer, poured it on down, leveled off with a 2x4. Then we had this this guy right here. It's just like an edger tool or a relief crack tool, and you use it to make the cracks wherever you want them. That way, in case your driveway breaks later, hopefully it cracks on the crack you already made and not somewhere else. Then you have to re-pour your driveway like we just did. And then we also, after the concrete dried for about maybe an hour, we took a trowel it all out, made it smooth, and used a broom to give it a little bit of texture there. That way it's not a slippery driveway. I had a specific concrete broom, but you can use just your regular household broom. If you're gonna use one of these though, there's one thing people don't know a lot of the time, and that's before you go put it away back in your house, clean it off. Because if you don't, and then your wife finds it, you get in trouble. Been there. Then over here, our drainage is working. So yeah, I just pressure washed everything off, made sure the drainage was working. The pop-up emitter, it does pop up whenever the pipe gets full of water. The water comes out there. And then over here, I need to get some grass. I was actually waiting to get grass until I did all of this because I didn't want to put down new grass and then mess it up. So around the drain here, I'll either put grass, or maybe I'll get some gravel and put that around it, just so, you know, mud doesn't flow all in there and fill up our new pipe. But I'll do something there. And yeah, I mean, it looks a little splashy right now. I think that's because it's still curing. I also just made it wet, so it's still drying right now. But I think all in all, it came out pretty good. We don't have that divot anymore that I'm going to drive over. And now every time I wash the car, I don't have to worry about my wife making it dirty 5 minutes later, like literally 5 minutes later. So if you were to hire a contractor to do this, I would guess anywhere probably they'd charge you like $2,000 to $5,000. I mean, the concrete work itself, not too hard, but you start adding drainage, and that's, you know, a specialty thing. They have to drill or dig the hole a few inches deeper, so somewhere around there. But doing it yourself, so that was a little over a half yard of concrete. Once I get to like 2 yards, that's where I'm like, maybe I should hire a cement truck. But yeah, half a yard of concrete, all the materials, the rebar, the pipe, all the rental stuff was just under $1,000. So doing it yourself, save a fair bit of money there. But I think that's where we're gonna leave it today. So until next time, I'm going to go find the hose because I can now wash cars without fear of them getting dirty 5 minutes later. See ya.